As spring arrives, you'll find that you're outside more often, and you're going to see these once in a while through most of the country. They're called a thistle, a weed if you will, but they get, I've seen them bigger around than this whole back of the truck, huge monster things. They're down to small ones, all sizes. And what you need to know though, if you see one come by or stuck in your yard, that I have seen numerous times that snakes have crawled up in them out in the country someplace, and of course it breaks loose and they'll go for a ride. It just rolls. They've had some of them that started in Texas and they ended up in South Dakota, and South Dakota tumbleweeds quite often have ended up in Texas. And all along this corridor you want to keep a good steady eye out, simply because anywhere there's a possibility of a snake being dropped off. I know that some snake lovers will tell you that they will pick up a snake out or inside of town, take it outside of town, dump it out, and it'll never hurt anybody again. The negative to that, is, of course, is it can get a ride with one of these and right back into town or in another town. It's kind of it's on the idea like the Catholic Church thought that they could take a pedophile and just move him to another town and they'd never have another problem. You still have the pedophile. You still have the poisonous snake, and taking them out in the country isn't the answer. Now, keeping that in mind, there's other ways that snakes can come into town, and you'd be surprised, even here in the middle of McCook, we have to watch for rattlesnakes. And they can, if you ever drive your vehicle, car, whatever, out in the country or out to the lake and park it, snakes like to crawl underneath there for shade, and the engine, the heat from the engine, they kind of like to get close to it, not on it, but close to it, and so they'll get underneath there and may crawl up in the car. You drive home, pull it into your driveway, nighttime, the rattlesnake drops off and now you've endangered the entire area. And so not to be totally worried about it, but it's just something to keep track of and keep an eye on. And whether it's weeds or that, floods can bring poisonous snakes into your area. Of course, I've even had two men report that they were watching a tornado just a couple of miles away, and a rattlesnake would fall right beside them from that tornado. And when it hit the ground, it didn't kill the snake. It would let him down easy enough that it didn't even kill him. And he was madder than a hop toad, so they, of course, immediately killed the rattlesnake. But two men have told me that, and I would trust their word, you know, with my life, and so I know that's a true story. So keep that kind of thing in mind. And with the coming of any summer, you've got to be watching for snakes. And of course, here in Nebraska, there's not 1 month that we don't kill a snake. In the state of Nebraska. That includes through the winter. Any nice warm days the snakes can come out. The most I've ever killed in February was 11, and that was in 1 hour just walking along a pasture. And so they are out there at any given time if it's a nice warm day. And so keep that in mind. I want to keep you safe. This is McCook's Mr. Bill. Rate this film.